I am Dr. Aare Ademola, the Director of Grassroots Sports Development, Federal Ministry of Youth and Sports. We thank God everything has been going on as expected. Despite the very challenging COVID-19, we are doing our best to maneuver and do one or two things to make sure that the Nigerian youths are fully engaged. Yes, sports has been part of me. I've been in sports right from my childhood days. And I could tell you emphatically that things have really changed. Changed in terms of technology, changed in terms of even the jerseys, the ambience in a sporting environment. But in those days, people were more committed. There was passion, there was commitment, and the followership was great. Unlike now, that the followership is not as it used to be, probably because of definitely because of various factors. And in those days, for example, in almost every state was having a sports club that you have affinity to, that you can call your own. When you talk of football, you start thinking, you go to Ibadan, you say IICC. You go to Lagos, stationery stores. You go to Ibadan again, Leventis United. You go to the east, we have Eyimba. We have this team from Jos, Mighty Jets from Jos. So everybody had something to lean on to. Everybody had something to be proud of, to be committed to. But nowadays, it's no longer like that. Even the national teams, they are not what they used to be. In those days, you could easily sit down in your house and say, oh, Nigeria is playing with Sudan. We are giving them 6-0. Probably because of the quality of players we had at that time. But I'll tell you, we still have the quality players even today. But I think we still need to, the leadership need to wake up more and do what is necessary to motivate the players, to allow the coach to do what he's supposed to do. Definitely there are factors affecting sports. That is sure banker. So, but I think as a ministry, the ministry is doing all it can. If not for the pandemic, Nigeria would have had the best year as far as sports is concerned. But I'm sure we'll get there. Sports has many stakeholders, and the ministry is the apex sports policy-making body in the country. The minister is for youth and sports. And you can see that in those areas where the pandemic is not really hitting us directly, especially in the youth empowerment area, the federal government has done a lot. The Honorable Minister has brought in so many ideas, to empower the youth. We have so many youth engaging programs. We have the deal. We have there's this particular one that when a company trains a group of youngsters and after that they get employed or they can self-employ themselves. So many programs are on ground, and in the area of sports, we have been there virtually because we cannot, because of the pandemic, do what we're expected to do. People are no longer expected to be in the stadium when you are playing ball. You are not allowed to do contact sports. Even individual sports, we still have limitations. But I'm sure in the new year, and with the improvement in the weather condition, because I learned that COVID thrives in a cold environment. But I'm sure we'll get there when we get to the next year. What is important in sports is training, constant training. And football is a team sport where you need to play together to get to know one another. I'm playing with Mr. A, I'm playing with Mr. D. How do I pass the ball to him? There should be rhythm, there should be pattern, and there should be that comradeship. But where you have not been training for so long, you just gather your players, okay, let us train for like a week or two. How do you think they will fare? It is not easy. And again, most of our clubs don't have their own training grounds. If they have their training grounds, they could as well lock up the place and be training inside on daily basis after making sure that all of them tested negative. You could put them in camp and they will continue training continuously. But in a situation where COVID-19, everybody went to sleep, no training, what do you expect? So, but I'm sure with time, we will definitely get over this. In any human endeavor or in anywhere you find group of people, there will always be disagreements. We disagree to agree, we agree to disagree. But one thing this federation should take away is that the ministry is in charge of sports in the country. You cannot say because you're a board member and you start taking decisions detrimental to the interests of the country. No minister will allow that. No ministry will allow that. So the board members should know that in any action they take, in anything they are doing, they are merely representing the ministry and they are representing the nation. So by the time you want to take the laws into your own hands, I don't see how that is possible. So and then it is now on them. If you have issues among yourselves in the board, why can't you sort them out? No father will want to see his house in disarray. That is one thing I want you to do. And any decision taken by the ministry is in the best interest of the nation. That is the truth I have to... Let me give you an instance. It is in this same ministry that we will be hearing about federations taking athletes out. They will just pack some people, go to the embassy and apply for visa for them. And majority of them are not even athletes. And when they go out, most of them will disappear. So that is affecting the image of the country. And no minister, no sitting minister will want such thing to continue. There are rules and regulations that the federations must adapt to. So if you are not ready to adapt to rules and regulations or to be under the guidance of the ministry, for example, you take money from the ministry, and you will now turn around after taking that money and be telling the ministry that you cannot interfere in what I'm doing. If you are not a member of that federation, can you go out and say, my name is Aare Ademola, I am doing basketball in Nigeria. Can I go out and represent basketball federation? No. It is because of your position in this federation that you can now go out and represent the country. You are not representing yourself. So whatever decision that you are taking must be in tandem with the interest of the federal government. No saint minister will allow you to go out and disgrace the country or misrepresent the nation. So it is very important that the ministry must guide and control some activities of the federation. They are autonomous in doing their programs. Nobody is saying they shouldn't, don't do your program. No. But what we are saying is, if you want to take athletes out of this country, the ministry must be aware. When you are outside the board, you have your own notion of coming to that federation to be a board member. But by the time you come in, you find out that it is not party as usual. There are rules and regulations. Some of them are there waiting for government trips. The federations are expected to be self-sustaining. The federation some of them are getting funds even from outside the country, and the ministry is not aware. When we were growing up, like I said earlier on, you could name all the players in Super Eagles. You could determine in the days of Chukwu, Odegbami, Stephen Keshi, you could as an individual determine that, oh, we are playing Ghana. Well, Ghana is good, but maybe 2-1, Nigeria will win. And that will be the outcome of such match. Nowadays, it is not so. Like you said, we're always looking for ready-made. For God's sake, how can you tell me that in a country of over 100 million people, we can have 10 Super Eagles teams on ground, locally? We have the players. So when you are talking of Super Eagles not doing well, there are more factors affecting the Super Eagles than meets the eyes. So there is need for local Super Eagles in this country. There is need for players to be brought together. Why do we have league? Why do we have, in those days, the Henry Nwosu, Stephen Keshi, all of them, they were identified when they were in schools. And that is why the Honorable Minister is bringing back the Principal's Cup, National Principal's Cup, and Headmaster's Cup. We need to go back to the basics. A house without a solid foundation will crumble. And that is why Nigeria is not doing very well internationally. We need to go back to the basics. So Minister is laying much emphasis on grassroots sports development. If not for COVID, everywhere will be bubbling with activities. Why do we have zonal offices? You are a witness to what we were doing in Kaduna. Funds were given to the zonal offices and they were producing athletes. Everybody, in fact, some states they rely more on activities of the zones because they don't have the wherewithal to do their own programs. So they are always coming to Kaduna, going to Lagos, going to Enugu. The zones were bubbling, we were doing activities. But because of COVID, all these things were scaled down. Funding is not a major challenge. Funding can never be a major challenge. Funding could be one of the factors. When you are saying funding is a major challenge, that means there is no fund at all. There is no fund at all. We have fund. And the minister is doing all it can. In fact, like the youth department, the youth sector of the ministry got a grant from Mr. President. The same thing the Honorable Minister is pushing so that we have such grant for sports. As it were, with the budget we have, we are doing the best we can do. But it is not clear to everybody now because of COVID. The minister cleared the air by telling you that an organization submitted a bill of 81 million. Not that the ministry wanted to spend 81 million. An organization submitted a bill of 81 million. And he said, how could I spend 81 million to clear grass? There are many other things, activities that 81 million will be judiciously utilized for. So there was no time the ministry spent 81 million or proposing to spend 81 million naira to clear grass. Usually, it's a government property that will always be budgeted for the maintenance. And that is why a structure of that magnitude, before now, Julius Baja was maintaining that place. And we knew how much Julius Baja was taking on yearly basis. But the moment the government could no longer pay that money to Julius Baja, they withdrew. And we started maintaining the stadium on our own. And to maintain that, you could imagine to maintain such a structure, bulb will go off, grass, especially during rainy season. If you cut your grass on Monday, by the following Monday, the grass is up again. So there are so many challenges, and the fund to maintain that facility is so enormous. In as much as the budget of the ministry is in an envelope. And whatever thing that is given to us, we have to manage it. That is what we are doing. Prudent. That is what the minister is doing to ensure that every sector of the ministry is taken care of. You will want to agree with the ministry that, look, as a sitting minister, the interest of the athletes is of paramount importance. The life, the well-being of the athlete. So for whatever thing you need to do, if Olympic Games could be shifted, could be postponed, how much more National Sports Festival? Because of COVID-19. We are not God. We are human beings. And if anything like that happens, it is force majeure. Everybody will know what the next action to be taken. That will not be, it will not be the first time that such events will be shifted. And like I said, the sanctity of life is of paramount importance to the Honorable Minister. The lives of the youth, that without the athletes, can we have festival? It's not possible. So we might have our own thinking, our differences, but the important thing is the well-being of these athletes that are coming for the game. The Honorable Minister brought in a lot of ideas. Though I'm not in youth, but I'm aware of most of these programs. And I know kids, children, youth that have benefited and are benefiting for such programs. I told you about DEAL. I told you, I think there are about 5 of them that I'm aware of. And I can tell you that the children, the youth, are fully engaged, albeit online. Registration online for most of this, grants to youths, giving them training opportunities under renowned organizations for possible employment, and more especially for self-employment. It is not everybody that could be engaged by the government. So that is why the ministry is encouraging the children to do handwork, to go for training, not just getting a degree. Make yourself useful to yourself and to the nation. And in terms of sports, you could see that if not for COVID, we have Principal's Cup, we have Headmaster's Cup, we have National Youth Games, we have some games which would have happened from tomorrow to 24th of this December. But because of COVID, second wave. And like you said, if the second wave is still waving us until that time, then we will know, we will sit down again and take necessary decision. Like I said, without the athletes, there won't be any sports festival. Without the athletes, there won't be National Youth Games in Ilorin. So we look at all these factors, and you have to know that it is not only the ministry that is organizing all these competitions. We have other major stakeholders whose interests must be taken into cognizance before any decision is taken.